Assassination! Pew, pew, pew. Hi, Buggy.
Today, June 23rd, 2025, the United States Army, in collaboration with the United States Air Force, successfully and swiftly killed the leader of terrorist group Tariq al-Haq in the California county of Nevada. We conducted bombings on the home site of the group and waited for the leader, Vince Vincent, to arrive. We had taken him into custody upon arrival, and a classified member executed him. Wait, is my mic working? Yeah. Wait, is it? Wait, is my mic working? Is it working? Testing. Oh my god. Ah, ah, ah. It works now. It works now. My bad. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. Well, one more time. Apologies. Today, June 23rd, 2025, the United States Army, in collaboration with the United States Air Force, successfully and swiftly killed the leader of the terrorist group, Tariq al-Haq, in the California county of Nevada. We conducted bombings on the home site of the group and waited for the leader, Vince Vincent, to arrive. We had taken him into custody upon arrival, and a classified member executed him. We carried out airstrikes through a F-22 Raptor, utilizing bombs on the site. All were hit precisely, and the area that was being occupied by the terrorist group is no longer a threat to national security. We will be further advising the group to ensure there's no more activity. The table will now be turned to Retro Brando. We will now be open to questions and comments about the situation or anything else that may concern potentially involving it. You may now begin raising hands, whether it's in game or through the stage. Man in the black, do you have something to say? Borby, do you have something to say? All right. Man in the red, do you have something to say? All right. Well, I will continue to speak on our further actions that we plan on, getting to with these situations. So, like Retro said, we will be constantly monitoring and be not afraid of conducting any more operations on any groups that could be a threat to our country, including Altaric Hack, which we we never know if it could become a threat once again. So, to the country, stay vigilant, stay active, and we'll always be ready to take information in from government entities. Any necessary threats will be broadcasted either federally or locally based on the threat it is. Most likely, for any terrorist organization threats, we will do it on a federal level. Um, are we absolutely sure there's no more questions? Okay. Man in the red. Yeah. So the initial militia that was created is uh, a threat to. We believe it is a threat to the local area and could maybe become a threat to the country. Now, we can't disclose too much information involving potential, future things, but that doesn't mean we have or don't have things in store. But like I said, take what you need from this statement. But we we will take action on any threat, whether international or domestic, to our country. So now take comment from we're going to take comment from Retro Brando and Alexander Parker involving that question. Alexander Parker will now be speaking. Okay. We have one question that is being provided digitally, so we will be answering that. So, one moment here. Oh, never mind. They have left the session. All right. Is there any more questions whatsoever? Oh, okay. They're back. Hold on. So the question will be taken in. Speak when you're ready about the question. So he will be typing the question, then I'll speak the question out loud of what he said, and then we'll all address it. So the question was from a digital member was, what crimes were committed exactly to classify this group as a threat to national security? So uh, so it's pretty much a so we have classified the United States as a government has classified the group as a terrorist organization, um, which means we're going to have to address the threat accordingly. Um, we will release documents in the next few days or weeks, and we will also release photo and video of the situation, which will help the public understand why we took action on the group and maybe even what we will do in the future about terrorist organizations and other illegal groups and gatherings. The mic will go to Retro Brando, then Alexander Parker. All right. Apologies. It appears he's AFK. He will be terminated from the National Security Council after this. But now, are you ready to speak? All right. Um, so Retro spoke about. All right. He will no longer be attending the conference. Sorry, Alexander Parker, since he can't you know have any self control. But um, so pl please don't block the camera. The I forgot what I was gonna say because of what happened. Hold on. Like Retro said, we have to profile all potential threats, and we took this as a threat with all the evidence we gathered and research we have done. Um, is there any more questions? Yes, man, the red. Okay. So the intentions of the group were most certainly to harm and to harm the people and damage the United States, um, for sure. We gathered intelligence that they were creating explosives, which I do not believe could be used to hunt. Um, as he said, there's a hunting group. They also inside their they did advertisements to um start their group, and the group symbol uh very much represented Islamic extremist groups, which which is what started to raise our concerns. Of course, this wouldn't happen for a store that is helping our economy. They can have these type of signs. That's type of signs, flags, stuff like that. That is your rights. But of course, it's going to raise flags. Um, so we investigated, and they sent out an advertisement which certainly showed their intentions of a militant with a Russian style rifle in a position on top of one of their pickup trucks, which inside of a extremist uh, uniform, if that makes any sense. So this will go on to Retro Brando now, and he will comment on your question, which was if it wasn't on screen, the question was do you know what intentions this group had? So Retro will now speak. You can find the stream in the comments of the stage. All right. Any more questions? Yes. Man in the red. How many people were in this group? Well, the research and investigations were not to the point where we weren't necessarily looking at the number of personnel, but rather the intentions. We know there was at least one, but we have a suspicion there is 2 or 3 people inside the group. Um, uh, but there is, at the time, investigations did not start to look at how many people were inside of the group, so that we could get to these, so that we could address the situation in a faster. Retro. So yeah, Retro was correct. We did investigations on plenty of other things, but members were not researched. Member count. Uh, could we have? Yes. Would it have been difficult? Yes. Would it have delayed us taking action? Yes. So that's why we decided not to do a member. Why not to check how many members were in the group? Is there any more? Can we get any more questions? All right, man in the black. So uh we are entirely sure if they have other members, but if there are other members, since we are going to continue investigations on these groups, we will conduct operations that will either guarantee they be in custody or they be killed, and that is the reality, and that will be done by any branch of our military, any law enforcement, any National Guard, anything. And we will hold anybody responsible for any sort of harm or threat of harm or any sort of violence or threat of violence um, in our nation and any of the states, any of the counties, any of the cities, any of the towns, any of the villages. Brenda. All right, we had a question from the man in the red. Um, yeah, we do. Um, so we are gonna first of all we need to gather all of the we need to compile all of the files, all of the documents. We need to make more additional documents because new things is happening all the time. We need to make sure it's in a state where it can be unclassified and released to the public the in a good form. Um, we also need to compile the video footage. We are going to make a video that will allow any American to easily view the footage and see what occurred on that night, or I guess that day, since it was a few hours ago that this occurred. Um, and any photos we have will be released inside the documents. This will be done in a format where it'll be easy for everyone to view. Um, okay. So the footage, we believe, there's a range. The footage could be released from tomorrow to 2 weeks. That is the time we believe it'll be released. It probably will not be done today. We still need to do some communication with everyone involved, with all the branches involved, to obtain the footage and that it was recorded on the helmet cams and body cams of the involved member of the Army and Air Force members. We also will attempt to obtain any footage from any local businesses or county video from light poles or street lamps or anything of that matter. We'll also attempt to see if we can get any footage from satellite views of the situation. We will also get some evidence photos when we can of the area of where it occurred, which will uh, allow us to release even more um, uh, pieces of information for the public to consume and have to get educated on security in the United States. So this will go on to Brando. All right. Any more questions? All right, man in the red. Well, um, yes, actually, I think I do have an idea. Um, there are, um, so actually, this is gonna start a long time back. So, I think it all started with the Blue Men Group in San Francisco, California, and New York City, California. Um, or not New York City, California, New York City, New York. My apologies. My apologies, my apologies. Um, where we had I think I said Blue Men Group already, but yeah, we had the Blue Men Group which consisted of uh, a member count we couldn't really set on, but it was usually 3 people, 3 to 4 people. This was a variety of different things. It started as it started as just a little group that acted abnormally. Then it became more of like a gang, and then for a very short time it was a religion. Before an investigation was done, it was considered a cult, uh, cultic criminal organization, if that makes any sense. Um, it, and so they started moving to, for whatever reason, they started doing. They purchased a property in. This is before they were considered a cult criminal organization. They moved their location to Grass Valley, California, on 13 Buggy Mom Parkway, and then where they operated a convenience store and worked at a post office, which at the time was a private post office, but it is not in operation anymore, where they got money and eventually had enough to purchase a piece of property in rural areas of the county, and they had made a uh, like a camp. So it was an enclosed area with with some wooden walls and cabins, which included beds, and there was even a phone area and a little shop area. Um, uh, and then the first location, which became a cult center after a convenience store, ended up being robbed, and whoever robbed it was never found. And there was no motive ever found or anything like that. There was a lot of speculation about who robbed it, which I believe started violence. So they chose one specific person uh, that they thought robbed it, and did acts against them that were violent and occasionally. They also participated in a riot, which footage is available of the riot where they were. Police had to intervene with the riots and get them under control, which eventually was successful via the Nevada County Sheriff's Office. Um, Eventually, the Blue Men Group uh, became, a entity that was always, using firearms and any type of weapon they could get their hands on. And then they became inactive, and they were they were expected to never make a comeback, which was true. We never saw the Blue Men again, to some degree. The Blue Men, uh, actually that'll be later. Now, the Blue Men left the county for a long time. We had not seen them. None of the members were there. The Blue Men camp was still there, and their pickup truck that they had was still there. They came back as a less organized, but all the members were still there. None of them were in the occasional, usual Blue Men attire, and most of them were law-abiding. We had one member, TJK291, who particularly incited violence, but he calmed down at some point, and then he started getting violent again. And then during this time, Joe Motor, the sole founder of the Blue Men, which we believe, started to create a political party, which let me get the name of real quick. The revised Blue Manism Party. This was actually created on May 2nd, 2025, and had the quote, freedom at a price, quote, civil society, comes at the price. So it said freedom at a price comes at the price of murder. And the message was fight against our tyrant and dominant. They posted several posters, even in their pawn shop, they put a "Back the Blue," and then had like a Blue Men logo on it, so it was mocking the uh, Thin Blue Line, Back the Blue movements in a way. Um, so it that and so we're now up to a point where the Blue Men aren't as seen. Joe Motor has moved into a role in politics and is a state assembly member of California. There are more splits. We haven't seen one of the members on a lot, but he may make another appearance. So all the crime seems to stem from the Blue Men in San Francisco and New York. That's what we believe. So that's gonna go. This is gonna go to Brando now. Okay, he has no comment. Do we have any more questions? All right, Man in the Black. Um, yeah, there will be. We will do a little. We may do something at the White House, and then we'll start an SSU. Man in the Red. We believe so. In general, people are moving to Grass Valley. It's been a trend from people moving to the Bay Area to Grass Valley, and actually, because of people are trying to escape the city environment, people are trying to get to a more calm area, place where they can get a lot of property for a lot cheaper. And um, I mean, of course, it's not a ton cheaper, but it's still cheaper, and they can still get a lot of property. People like trees. People like old small buildings. People like the community. People like to retire in places like this. Um, so maybe they were attracted to the environment that Nevada County had. Maybe they saw it as a place that they could start another a new version of Le Blue Men. We are not entirely sure, but that's certainly a possibility. So maybe they were just going with the crowd because a lot of people were moving there for whatever reason. Um, do you have any comment, Brando? All right. Any more questions? Man in the red. Well, a decrease in police presence has to do with many different things. So we've been losing police members, like we lost the undersheriff of our sheriff's office to who pursued medical services. We lost um, we lost some people, and we lost a member of the sheriff's office. So that's one thing. We tried in a moment. We try to you know allow our place to be secure. Another thing is the uh, it is wildfire season in the area, so um, there is always that we always have to be wary of wildfires, and police have a very low capability to fight these fires, so we have to focus more on wildland firefighting rather than police sometimes. And we only do such a thing if crime is low, which it has been pretty low recently. We haven't had a lot of the usual suspects on lately. um so that's something we're gonna have a Brando on now. Any more questions? Yes? Um, we it was not our you'd have to forward that question to the New York City Police Department. We don't know. Oh, wait, oops. Do you have anything to comment on, Brando? Okay. He will not be giving comment. Any more questions? Yes? Um, no comment. Any more questions? Any more questions, Man in Black? Okay. Um, so going back to what the original topic was, which is, what the press conference is all about. The terrorist targets were striked uh, because of the threat to you, the people. Okay, we have a question. Man in the red, go ahead. Um, the information is still being decided whether that should be released in the uh, documents that are to be released revolving the situation. So that will be classified until you will know if you will know eventually if we decide to release the documents, and if you never find out, then you never find out. So um, that there you go. Richard, do you have any comment? Okay. Man in the Black, you had a question, yes? Oh, okay. Any more questions? Yes? Man in the Red? Um, a lack. So, actually, what I will say is the fact that this is a national security meeting. But I will quickly say it's because there's no determination for the director of Caltrans to make a move on that. Any more questions? Any more comments, Brando? All right. Well, um, this press. We thank you all for visiting the press conference today. The stream will be up will be up indefinitely. So you'll be able to play back, and if you forget a question you said, it'll always be readily available. Um, so thank you all again. We really appreciate you attending and asking these questions so that the people can be informed about what's going on. Since we don't know what's in the public's mind, we can hear what you guys have to say and address it. Yeah, thank you. We'll be making our exit.